So in honors, we're going to talk about we're going to do the second half of 9.1, which is on special right triangles. There's two triangles that have special characteristics. And the first one is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And next year, when you guys do the unit circle and you do more with trig, this is going to come in really handy. But with a special right triangle that's a 45, 45, the A and the B values are always the same. So these are the same lengths. And the C value is that same length multiplied by 2 every single time. So no matter what. And the reason why is because if you think about the X and the A value and the B value, if the base angles, which are these ones, if those are both 45, then you have an isosceles triangle. So the sides have to be the same length. And again, this is X times root 2. It always works that way. And a 30, 60, 90 is a little bit different. So if this is the 30 degrees, the one across from 30 is, we're going to call it X. The C value is always 2 times X, or the length of A. And then the B value is your X value, or the length opposite 30, times the radical 3. And when we're doing this, we always want to simplify and leave it in radical form, which means we also don't like that radical in the denominator. So as we're going through, you'll notice how we try to fix that. So when I look at example 1, first thing that I notice is that it's a 45, 45, which means the two side lengths, so this length here and this length here, have to be equal to each other. So I know that y is going to be 8 root 2 because it has to be the same length as the other leg that makes the right angle. So the x value is really, now if we think back at our triangle, remember it's the x value times root 2. So in this case, we take the x value, which is 8 root 2, and then we have to times it by root 2. So then this ends up being 8 root 4, and the square root of 4 is 2, so 8 times 2 makes the x value be 16. So we know that x is going to be the 16, because that's the hypotenuse value, and we know the y value is the same as our other leg, so this is 8 root 2. So these are my solutions. So again, as we look at number 2, same exact thing. We've got a 45, 45. So we have 45 here and 45 here, which means x and y have to be the same length. And this 6 is our x root 2. So think about what we know. We know that it's x times root 2 equals 6. And so I'm solving for x here. So I'm going to divide both sides by root 2. This goes away, and then we're left with x is equal to 6 over root 2. And like I said before, we don't like the radical in the bottom, and I don't think the computer will let you keep it in the bottom. They might, but we're going to practice not doing that. And so we're going to rationalize the denominator, which means we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by the radical in the bottom. So this is going to give me x is equal to 6 root 2 over root 4, which means this is 6 root 2. Square root of 4 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3 root 2. And so that tells us that x and y are going to be 3 root 2 because they have to be the same length. All right. So our next special triangle is a 30, 60, 90. So remember we talked about this where the 30 is our x, our across from right angle is 2x, and then this one is y is really going to be x times root 3. All right. So as we look at these values, we do the same thing. We have to figure out what x is. And I know, if I look at my problem over here, I know that 2x, maybe, is equal to 12 root 6. 12 root 6. So when I go to solve that, I'm going to go divide by 2, which is going to give me that x is equal to 6 root 6. So that's this value here, this x value. So we know that x is equal to 6 root 6. And when I find the y value to plug it in, I'm going to take the x value of 6 root 6 and I plug it in for x, and then I'm going to times it by root 3. So then this is going to become 6 root 18. And then we want to break the 18 down. So 18 is going to be, however you want to break that down. I'm going to do 9 and 2, and then 3 and 3. So now when I look for my pairs, I have a pair of 3s that's going to join the 6 that's already out there. And then the 2 stays in. And so that means that this is 18 root 2 for y. So then I know my two values. I know that x is 6 root 6. Oh, that's not a 6. It's 6 root 6. And y is 18 root 2. And that would be my solution. And I'm pretty sure they make you keep it with the radical. I don't think they like it as a decimal, but pay attention to what the computer asks you to do, and then you'll know. All right, we've got another 30, 60, 90. So this is our 30. Remember, this is our x value. This is our 2x value. And then this is x times root 3. That's the ratio. So when I look at this and I say, well, this is 5 root 2, then that means the x value right here is going to be 2 times 5 root 2, which makes this side be 10 root 2. And then for y, we take the x value, which is 5 root 2, and we multiply it by root 3. And so this ends up being 5 root 6, and 6 doesn't break down at all. So this is our x value in this case, in this problem, and this is our y value. And then our last example of special triangles is this 30, 60, 90. So this is our 30. So remember, this is our x side, which it actually says x. This is our 2x side, and this is our x times root 3 side. So by looking at that, that makes it a little bit easier for us to see that if the 60 side is our 4 root 3, then x is really 4. So that makes this be x is equal to 4, and it makes this one be 2 times 4, which makes our y really be 8. And that one's actually a nice one. So that's that for special right triangles. Remember to pay attention to where everything is. So opposite the 30, so when you look at those special triangles, opposite the 30 is your x. Hypotenuse is your 2x. Okay, and then your 60 is your root 3, x times root 3. So just be really careful. That one sometimes messes you guys up a little bit because you don't pay attention to the 30 and the 60. So it's always opposite the 30 that's your x. And then for 45, 45, your two legs that make up the right angle are always equal. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.